So I'm going to give you guys a little sneak peek into what to expect out of the new podcast format. It's going to be fun because it's going to be more topic driven. So today's topic is mechanic. Yay! I wish I had the sound thing where I'm going to get a soundboard eventually, probably this year sometime when I switch out of GarageBand into a more better audio thingy. Anyway, technical stuff. So this topic is going to be a better mechanic. How to be a better mechanic. How to be, not even just because you can find ways to apply what I'm going to say into any job. Doesn't really matter what it is. So that's the topic. How to be a better mechanic. How to be just a better employee. How to stay career driven. It's more like that. So that's the topic. And that is how this podcast will continue moving forward. The subject is going to be a thing. And that's the subject we're going to stay on. So, first thing is first. With anything, I want you to think about what's the first thing that you do when you wake up. Let's just say you want to be a productive person. You want to be career driven. You want to have, you want to be organized. You want to be all the things, right? All the good things. Think about this before I give you the answer. What is the very first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? What do? Do you pick up your phone? Most of us pick up our phone. Even I pick up my phone. So, check the time. That doesn't count. I mean, what's you get out of bed, then what? Go to the bathroom, take a drink. For me, it's always the same thing. I do the same exact thing every single morning. I dropped my pen. First thing I do, I take my phone, I look at the time, any notifications. I try to ignore them, depending on who it is. Then I grab a water and I slam it. If it's a full one, I'll drink the entire thing. If it's a half, I'll drink whatever's left or the whole thing. Hydrate instantly. Second thing I do is go to the bathroom, depending. Usually I'll go right to the bathroom. Then I'll let the dog out because she's going to go out. And if I don't let her out, she's going to be pissed and piss on the ground or something. She doesn't do that no more, but she used to be fussy about when she was going out. So anyway. But the very first thing you do is, besides all of those things, those are the little things that you just have to do. You get up, you go to the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Think about it, though. Do you now get in the shower? Do you sit down and watch TV? Do you grab your laptop? Do you smoke a cigarette? Do you smoke a joint? What do you do? I want you to imagine for a second what a person who is very career driven, who is very busy all the time, who always seems like they're a step ahead of everyone. What do you think they do when they wake up in the morning? You know what they do? They make their bed their first move. That is the very first thing that you should do. Now, I'm not talking about all those other little things. The very first thing on your to-do list, make the bed. I promise you, when you do that, your bed, your day, if you do that for a week, your life will change. It's a life-changing experience. It is literally going to set your entire day up for an accomplishment before you even walk out of the door. So that's a thing you should do. So that's the one thing. A lot of this is going to relate to working. We'll get to that. But a lot of this is, if you want to stay focused at work, you want to be a better mechanic, better employee, you want to be, it doesn't matter. I'm a mechanic, so I'm saying mechanic, and there's a lot of mechanics listening to this. So let's just say mechanics, but hey, you could be an IT guy. You could be working at a phone store. You could be someone who's at the bottom washing cars and wants to be an auto body painter like I was. It doesn't matter what your job is. You could be a floralist. Did I say that right? Anyway, the way you set your life up at home is going to have a lot to do with how you are at work. So, for me, my work clothes are already set for tomorrow. The coffee's already set for the morning. Emma Chamberlain, thank you for your coffee. She sent me coffee. Emma Chamberlain, if you don't know who she is a YouTuber. And her coffee is fucking fantastic, actually. It's, I mean, you got Black Rifle Company and all these other, Gun-Ho, whatever. Emma Chamberlain's coffee kills it, dude. Like, not even fucking playing. Her shit is good. It's really fucking good. So, shout out to Emma. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice if we could all get 3.2 million views per video within the first 10 minutes of our upload? God, she's killing it. She's absolutely killing it. Anyway, a lot of things you do when you're home. So, the coffee's already made. It's ready to go. I don't have to rush around. First of all, I work a second shift. So for me, if I was on a day shift, like most people, I'd probably be getting up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. You don't want to be rushing to make I got to make the coffee. I got to do all that the night before. Do all that the night before. You don't want to do that. Everybody's routine is going to be a bit different, but if you want to live an accomplished lifestyle, if you want to be more organized, if you want to stay a step ahead, then stay a step ahead of yourself. And I'm just giving you guys pointers on what I do. I am not a super successful millionaire, but I'm very happy with my life. I'm very not content with my life, but I'm happy with the direction it's headed in. And I know that I need to work hard to get where I need to go. And I'm willing to do that. And that's what I'm doing right now. That's why it's 10:30. I worked a 10-hour day today, and I'm doing a podcast. The hustle never stops. But even with this is a pre-set up podcast. I've never done them like this before. It's 10:30 at night. I was done at work at 8. I was home at 8. Made dinner, blah, blah, blah. But then I prepped for the show. Usually, I'll just go right in and just dive into something or whatever. Those days are gone. This podcast has to work now. This has to be a thing that drives me to another level on YouTube, hopefully, Spotify, whatever. But that means I have to take it to another level. I have to be more organized. The points have to be better. Everything has to be better. I have to be better. I can't just drive off topic with Emma Chamberlain's coffee. But what I'm saying is, those are the key things to being a better mechanic. And look, a lot of mechanics, it's thought of as being, when you're, I'm a mechanic, dirty, stuff everywhere, trashy, kind of like a white trashy job. Let me tell you something. If you're a good enough mechanic and you're great at it and you love it, you can do anything. You will make more money than anybody you graduate high school with let me tell you a story. When I was out of high school, I was making $105,000. $105,000 I made. Not $50,000, not $70,000, $100,000. 1 year out of high school. Yeah. Break your ass and you can. And it's like I said, it's thought of as just mechanics are dirty, blah, blah, blah. It's not. It's all how if you work at a shitty shop and you work around shitty people, you're going to develop bad habits. So try to stay away from those places. Go into a clean shop. I like the ideas of going to Pep Boys and stuff like that because they're somewhat cleaner. Some of the senior guys are going to know. Some of the head mechanics, the master mechanics may know some things. If you're just changing tires, if you go to some junkyard and change tires, I mean, that's going to be a gritty, dirty, nasty job. But if you go to, like, somewhere like that and learn, like a Sears, well, I don't think Sears are open, but, some of these nicer shops that have good equipment, they take care of things, it's clean, and the floor is nice, it's kept nice. Try to find a place like that to learn if you're starting from the bottom. Now, if you're a guy you're not going to fucking beat an old dead horse, I'm sorry. All right? Some of these guys are, like, there's a guy I work with, and some of the guys listening to the podcast that I work with will know who I'm talking about. Not going to say his name, even though he don't listen to shit like this, but he is a hoarder, and he's fucking just you're never going to change this guy. He is what he is. He keeps shit everywhere. He's just one of them guys, Luckily, he keeps his stuff in his little area, and it's somewhat clean because our boss is it's where I work is where I work. You guys know I'm not going to announce it, but, like, it's a place where you just can't have stuff laying around. So anyway, you're kind of forced to where I work. But if you look on some of the guys' carts, you'll see, like, just tools, like, everywhere. Like, I could never work like that. Organization is number one. But, like, go back. I was saying, like, start out these nice places, and you find mechanics that make $175,000 a year without even blinking an eye. And some of these guys that, if you're real good, you can go work on a NASCAR team. NASCAR, I mean, right now with COVID, who knows what's going on. But, like, the future, those guys make big bucks. And there's more. You could go into, and we're not just talking about auto mechanics here, I'm just saying. But you could go into, like, working on high-end cars, and despite what people say, a car's a car. Well, it's not, though. This is a Ferrari. This is a Lamborghini. This is a Honda Civic. If you think that you're going to go to a shop that specializes in Lamborghinis in L.A. in Beverly Hills and get paid $12 an hour, no. That's not how that works. One, you're not going to get that job without, like, 5 years experience on, like, a race team or something anyway. So, because those are race cars, all right? I don't care what anybody says. If you have a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, those are race cars. They're set up and designed to race. So, you're not going to just get that job. But if you're good enough, you will. But you're not going to get it and be disorganized and be greasy, nasty fingernails and stuff, wear gloves, you're not going to get into this guy's car with grease all over you and stuff, like, so if you want to make the big bucks in that world and to be a better mechanic and to be just in whether it's a journeyman, whether it's a plumber, whether it's a carpenter, whether it's a fucking iron worker, whether you're a fucking whatever, auto maintenance, if you're production maintenance like I am, or you're whatever, HVAC, fucking PLC, Pico, whatever, fucking electrical guys, all you guys, you're all the same. Organization is key. Like I said before, like, it starts at home, but at work, at the workplace, the key part of it is organization, knowing what tool to grab. Another big part of it is, like, if you're starting out, I'll give you two things right now off the gate if you're starting out to be a mechanic. Here's two things that you need to do instantly. Show up early and leave late. Do that for 1 year. Not fucking for a month, not for 2 weeks, for a year. Show up early, be the first one there, be the last one to leave. I hear some guy, be the guy that don't take his lunch. No, take your fucking lunch. Don't be stupid. You need to eat. You need to energize. That's counterintuitive. Take your lunch. Just don't take an over lunch. If they give you a lunch, you take it. But, stay away from drama. Stay away from, go have your lunch in your car. Stay out of the lunchroom with guys. Don't gossip. Don't be a fucking gossip guy. Nobody, you want to get into that later. Fine. For me, personally, never. Just I eat lunch alone still to this day. And I've been doing this for the better part of 15, 16 years now. I eat lunch alone. I don't gossip with men. Okay? Men do not fucking gossip. That's a women's thing. All right? So, and if you get involved in that, you're going to quickly find yourself in trouble. Because because they're just going to tell the boss everything you do. The senior is going to be the guy who just goes right to the boss and says something, and you're going to be out the fucking door. So, just be the quiet guy, even if you're a big mouth. Be the quiet guy, doesn't say much, just does his fucking job, keeps his head down. Be the guy who's always grabbing a broom. Be the guy who's always got something to do. If there's, tools laying around, put them back. If don't just, if you're gonna have to get something for later, make sure you bring it. There's always something to do in a shop, or there's always something to sweep. There's always a car that needs washed. There's always something. There's always something. So, those are two things if you're starting out. Show up early, leave late. Now, obviously, just don't leave late on your own thing. Just kind of, I'm like, maybe like 10 minutes after everyone else. Just be the guy, clean up a little bit, straightening up some areas and work areas. Maybe grab a broom and run it around. The boss is going to say, hey, usually what's going to probably happen is the owner or the boss is going to come out and go, I want to get the fuck out of here, let's go. But most times in body shops, like the way I grew up, is the managers and the bosses stay a little later than the employees do because customers come to pick up their cars. So chances are you're going to be starting later than the normal guys do because you're going to be staying late to wash cars. But while they're finishing up that last bit of paperwork, they might say, hey, go home. You might, hey, I'm going to sweep up real quick. Just do that little extra. I'm not a guy that likes to extra shit. Don't do extra. I hate fucking extra people. But in the workplace, extra means something. All right, effort. So anyway, organization is just the number one thing, though. If you stay organized, yeah, and you could get on this right away, and you don't have to. And what the best part about being a mechanic is being able to look at something and don't just dive right into it. Really stand back and go, like, if I have to replace a bearing with a shaft, I'm really going to look at it and go, I need to take this off, this off, I need to do this has to come this way, this way, whatever, I'm imagining the entire job kind of like a forensics guy would do, forensics, whatever they are. You're playing the job through your head. Even with a car I have to paint, it'd be the same thing. Well, let's just start with like a car. So, because I owned a body shop at one time too, so let's just say I had a car in for front end damage, and we replaced the fender. But let's say I had a car had a pull in a frame. So I'm imagining how that car is getting crushed in the accident because I'm reversing that with the frame machine, and you're doing that through the entire job. So it's good practice for me. It was good, to learn that early in my stage, because in my career, just to know, like how to kind of look at a job and kind of play it through my head. And I took that from like the paint job. All right, this is a 3-stage pearl, so you got to put a white base, you got to put a pearl, you got to put a clear coat, another clear coat. So you're imagining how you're doing it, you're imagining where your tape, you're imagining when you're spraying where the overspray is going to go. So you're thinking about that when you're taping up the car, because you don't want paint to go through a little hole, which it'll go through. Any little hole, paint will find its way through that hole onto the windshield or onto the chrome or onto something, the headlight. So you got to think about those things when you're spraying and when you're taping it, when you're doing it. So now I apply that same skill level to what I do now, which is, totally different than that, but not really, though. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. I mean, PLC guys know, electrical guys know, guys that build buildings know, bridges, guys that just do things. We do work. We do the hard work. You know. Because it's got to be a plan. You can't just jump into something. If you're putting a section of highway in, you don't just... There's plans. There's levels you're doing. You're building levels. And it's the same thing. And you're not going to... engineers are engineers. They do the engineering part of it, and you come in and build. But they're on site. Engineers got to be on site most jobs. Now, I don't have an engineering degree, but I do an engineer's job. For the most part. I don't design the machinery, but I do everything else pretty much. So, anyway, building engineers and skyscraper engineers and highways and all that stuff, they're different. That's a different kind of type of engineer. Mechanical engineer is a little bit different. Anyways, and I want to get my PLC certification this year. If you don't know what PLC is, that's Pro-Logical Computer. And it's basically the giant cabinets that run machinery. They're 480s. So there's that. Organized. You have to be organized because you got to know, like what I'm saying is when you're looking at a job and you know, this is what I got to take off. Well, all right, well, there's a hex bolt. There's a 10 millimeter. There's a 19. There's a 3/4. Well, 19 is a 3/4, but let's just... All right, this is I need a 3/4 wrench and a 3/4 socket for this, and I probably need an 8 mil for this, and a 5 mil set screw for the Allen key for the bearing, and I need this. So just bring those tools. Bring what you need. Don't bring all this shit, because next thing you know, you're gonna have a pile of tools everywhere. Now, any job I've ever been on in the last 4 months at where I work, where it's something with a bearing, there's always been an issue, and then next thing you know, it just gets aggravating, and they're all going to end up with tools around. But try to stay organized because it gets messy quick. It builds up quick. Things happen fast. You're trying to get the job done. There's bosses down your neck. They want to run the line. You're trying to fix a broken shaft or a busted belt or whatever, But if you can stay organized right out of the gate and you can pinpoint what tools you need, you will save yourself so much aggravation, I promise you. And now, I'm at the point now in my career where I literally carry like 6 tools around in a fanny bag, cross-shoulder bag, and that's all I need. I know exactly what I'm going to need unless there's something real serious. Then I'll get my actual bag and my cart and everything else. But mainly... I'd say like 98% of the time, I'm carrying a Nipex Kroba pliers set, a 6-in-1 Klein wrench, some electrical screwdrivers, some real small drivers, a couple other things, a nice... I like a lot of tools that have multi-purposes. Like instead of carrying 7 Allen wrenches, I'll just carry one of those little foldy Stanley ones. A tape measure. So important to always have a tape measure on you. I don't care what the fuck your job is. If you have a tape measure, it's somewhere on you. If you're a body guy, probably not. But a tape measure is just one of those things in a maintenance career that you fucking need all the time. A pen too. Carry a fucking pen. Don't be the guy that don't have a pen. Now, I wear an Apple Watch, but a watch is also very important. Just you always want to know what time. Time yourself constantly. I time myself in my own head. That's a good key point too. I wanted to address it. Try to time yourself. No, you're not challenging. You're not doing it to be in competition with anybody. You're in competition with yourself. Just get better. Just imagine how much faster you could have did it if you didn't have to go find, this is a 3/4. Well, you should have knew that right away looking at it. So if you come across something that you didn't know there's a size, it's because you didn't plan and you didn't play the job out in your head good enough. Now, there's always going to be that one fucking bolt where if somebody worked on it before, they put the wrong size in, and it's like everything's a 3/4, but this one's a fucking 16, metric or whatever, So there's always going to be that shit, but you should really play it in your head, and that's going to be it's less likely you're going to run into a situation like that. So I'm sure there's many other things. And, to be a more efficient mechanic, I think organization, showing up early, showing up on time, having a good attitude is really important too. And people are going to have bad days. Let's just face it. There's going to be bad days, is what it is. But try to keep yourself in a good attitude. I have bad days where I don't want to fucking talk to no one, and that's okay, It's fine to have those, but majority of the time, try to keep yourself in a good attitude, and you should be fine. And it's not that hard. It's like a lot of guys like get overwhelmed with it. They're like, this fucking job, it sucks, whatever. And it doesn't matter where you go, what it is. I've seen this in body shops. I see it where I work now. I see it at other places where I work. I hear guys leave here. They tell me about their job they went to, and it's like the same shit. And it's just like, so keep a good attitude. But another thing, too, is because if you keep a good attitude, a lot of the senior guys who know more will want to keep you around. Especially if you're a guy who organizes, if you're a guy who likes to be very observant. Because it doesn't matter if there's a guy that's coming in who's brand new for me. If there's a guy who's brand new, who's like under an apprentice for me, like we had a guy, his name was Jesus, not long ago. He was like an apprentice, but he was a fucking good mechanic. He ended up leaving because the hours were too much for him. He has kids, all this other jazz. The job wasn't right for him, which is a shame. But he was a guy who I'd be doing something and he would put his input, even though he wasn't on my level of skill level, but he always had the right answer, He just knew, you know what I mean? He was one of those guys who just fucking knew shit. And those guys are good to have around. So it's not like, it's fucking rookie, fuck you, don't shut the fuck up. No, that doesn't, I take that valid input, and a lot of guys are like that too, because, you might see something I don't see, and there's things, these machines, especially that I work on, and even a car, it doesn't matter what it is, there's so many things going on where it's always good to have another set of fresh eyes. So that's why we always try to call backup sometimes, where it's like, there's an issue, and it's like, oh, what the fuck, man? I've been up here for 45 minutes. I still can't figure it out. And the fucking rookie comes walking up and goes, that's off, or something's off, or a hose, or whatever, and it's like, fuck, you know what I mean? It's no embarrassment. It's just a very difficult thing, and that could be a vacuum line on an engine. That could be a brake line on a car. Brakes. It could be, in a big electrical cabinet, one wire loose, or something like that. Just if you're, observant and you plan the job, even when you're watching somebody do a job and you're an apprentice and you're watching them what they're doing, play it out in your own head still, make these conscious moves in your head, like chess, like, okay, I would do that next. You don't know, and that's how you learn. That's how you get better. Watch machinery, watch things, watch how things, like if you're going to be in a job like I'm doing, you constantly watch the machines on your spare time because you want to know how they're supposed to move, so when they're not moving right, it. They make noise, they're louder, they're, clicking and clacking, and there's always a way to tell, usually. Or it throws a code. That's the easiest way. But usually when it throws a fault, it doesn't run. So try to catch it while it is running. And, it throws that fault, then, depending on what that is, you might know right what to go to, and whether that's a car or a bottle filler or a beer filler or a fucking labeler or what. Doesn't really matter. Got it. Itch on my back. Or a firearm. You could be a gun master, gun builder, for all I know. So those are my things, guys. Those are my things to be a better mechanic. I mean, it's simple. It's simple. Be organized. Don't be a fucking asshole. Be organized. I mean, that's so key. Because organization plays into so many things. Be organized with your tools. Be organized with the way you dress. Tie your shoes nice. Wear good boots. Good boots are going to help you have a good attitude. If you wear cheap, made in China crap boots, your face is going to show it by 4:30. Okay? I promise you. Spend the money on the boots. I recommend Thorogood. They're my favorites. Been wearing them for years now. I love them. Didn't get paid to say that. Just, they're good boots. So, organization, tuck your shirt in. Have a multi-tool on you, a flashlight, a good one. Have these things at your disposal. You don't want to be the guy, I got a multi-tool. Boop. Here's a screwdriver. Here's, they're not the best, but it's better than nothing in a pinch. You can get most things done quickly. If you need a screwdriver to pry or something, multi-tool. Flashlights are the key. Always have a flash. I don't give a fuck what job you're doing. If you're a man in a working field and you don't carry a flashlight on you, get the fuck off my podcast. Okay? You need a flashlight. No, your phone doesn't count. That's a flash, not a flashlight. Can you use it for that? Sure. Do you look like you know what you're doing? No. You look like the guy who don't have a flashlight, in my opinion. That's who you are. I'm like, dude, you don't have a fucking flashlight? When a guy pulls his phone out, I'm like, stop. Just stop. Get the fuck off my job site with that. So, those are my things, guys. I hope you enjoy. And if you want to be a leader, we'll do another leadership values in another podcast with a guest or something. But that's a guest one. But this is more or less what the format of the podcast is going to be. I had fun with this one. Because this is what I know. This is my thing. This is my gravy right here. Mechanics, tools, have good tools, bag, all that stuff. But yeah, being organized, waking up early, being a step ahead, just keeping a good attitude, getting good boots. Try to pin the old lady, if she lets you. You bring home the bacon, she's going to give you the bacon. That might be a little, might want to. This is a rated R podcast. Anyway, so that's it, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Patron, please. If you want to subscribe to Patron, it helps out the channel. You don't have to, but it definitely helps out the channel because our ad revenue just boop. So yeah, there's that. Patron. On TikTok, hardcity__. We're killing it with dog videos. Today I did what did I make on TikTok today? I made a listen to this. I made a grilled ham and cheese French toast omelet. Yeah? You want to have a good day? Fucking make that. It's on TikTok. It's a 1 minute long video. Let me say that again. Grilled ham and cheese. Hold on. Grilled ham and cheese French toast motherfucking omelet with organic maple syrup. Yeah. Like, share, subscribe. I love you all. Have a great rest of your week. And that's it. Love you all. Peace.